Tonight, we're making meatballs. And you might be thinking, Rocco, you already showed us how to make the most delicious meatballs on, well, probably this entire planet. And that's true. I have. But tonight, we're going to take those delicious meatballs and we're going to stuff them with a bunch of cheese. It's going to be fantastic. Let's head on over to the stove and start the sauce that we're going to simmer them in. Got my pot getting hot. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Give that just a second. I'm going in 4 cloves of garlic. And half of a yellow onion. I'm going to saute that until the onions start to sweat and get translucent. Okay, our onions are looking good. Our garlic's just starting to brown. I'm going to go in with 2 28-ounce cans of tomato puree. As well as 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. Also 28 ounces. I'm going to season that with salt and pepper. Probably about a tablespoon of salt. And a teaspoon and a half of pepper to start. Remembering, I can adjust that at the end. Now I'm just going to put this down to a simmer. We'll let it come to a simmer and let it simmer while we make our meatballs. You also don't want to make any of your nannies mad. Clean out your cans with a little bit of water and add that. No wasting your tomatoes. Now for our meatball base, we're going to start with a pound of ground beef, a pound of ground veal, and a pound of ground pork. To that, we're going to add 6 cloves of garlic, minced, 1 yellow onion, diced, we got about 3/4 of a cup chopped parsley, about 1.5 cups of pecorino romano, and now we're going to take about 2 cups of bread that we diced and let sit overnight. Just day-old bread, diced up, about 1/4 inch pieces. We'll break it up a little more. And we'll pour 1 cup of milk over that. We'll toss that together. Get it all wet. Now, take our bread, squeeze out the excess milk, and just kind of break it up into there. I leave the crust on my bread. I kind of like it. It gives a little more chew to the meatball. You know, some people take it off. If you want it to be a smoother mix, you could do that. Take the crust off. If I'm using crusty Italian bread, I want that Italian crust in there. We're squeezing it out, breaking it up a little bit more. As you can see, I'm not too concerned. Still got some whole pieces in there. That milk in the bread is going to keep your meatballs nice and moist throughout the cooking process. Okay, I gotta wash my hands. We got everything in there except salt and pepper. Let's throw some salt and pepper in there. About 2 teaspoons of salt and a teaspoon of pepper to start. And we're going to give it all a good mix. Now, I say to start with the salt and pepper because what we're going to do is mix all this together and then just make a little patty and test it out before we actually start cooking all these meatballs. Well, for this one, we're going to do that before we stuff them with the mozzarella and everything else that we're stuffing it with. It's going to be stuffed with mozzarella, ricotta, and provolone. But you want to make sure you got your seasoning right before you do that, so it's always important to do a little test patty. So you can adjust your seasoning before you get too far in. Okay, I'm going to finish mixing this up, throw it in the fridge, well, make the patty, try that out, adjust my seasonings, and we'll make our cheese mixture. Time for our cheese mixture. We got half a pound of ricotta. It's whole milk ricotta. 4 ounces shredded provolone, it's just diced up. And 4 ounces of shredded mozzarella, also diced up. 1 cup of pecorino romano, grated. We're gonna mix that together. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but frying up in the background is the second test patty. It's a good thing we tested the first time because I had to add a little more salt. So I added 2 more teaspoons to it. I think that'll do the trick. But we're going to test it just to be safe. We'll get our stuffing mixed up. And then it'll be time to make some meatballs. It is time to stuff our meatballs. Oh. We're going to make these pretty big so we can get a nice seal around our cheese. A little bit more. I'll start with a ball about that size. What I'm going to do is flatten it to a patty. Start to make it concaved in my palm. So I got a nice little bowl like that. We'll take some of our mixture, about half a tablespoon. And just close it up. Give that a good squeeze and make sure we got a nice seal on that. Just roll it around in my hands, making sure everything is nice and tight. If there's any loose onion, take it, throw it to the side. You want a nice seal or your cheese is going to leak out. And that's looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to do that to the rest of them. And we start cooking them. We are looking good. Going to go into the broiler, brown them up a little bit, and then drop them in our sauce. Browned up under the broiler. Time to go for a little bath in the sauce. Okay, our meatballs are in. In addition to that, we're going to throw in some basil leaves. I had some small ones, so I'm just going to throw them right in. You got bigger basil leaves, mix them up a little bit, or tear them up a little bit. And we're going to stir that in ever so gently. Just let that simmer for about 20 more minutes. We have simmered and we're looking good. Obviously you can see at least one of them leaked a little cheese. That's fine. Just gonna add a little flavor to that sauce. See what we got. It's time to check out the fruits of our labor. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. That, as you can see, is why it's a labor of love. Beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and cheers.